Welcome, everybody, to Bet the Farm podcast. I'm your host, Eric Pfeffer, a.k.a. The Sheep. Alongside me, as always, we got Brandon Plotnick, a.k.a. The Pig. Got Miles Singer, the Milkman, next to me on the right. And as always, leading the charge, the farmer, Jared Plotnick. Welcome back, boys. Just for all of our viewers out there, big softball win last night for Manny and the Flanny boys. Getting one step closer to playoff contention. We have a huge game next Tuesday at Sunset Park, which is in Plantation, Florida. So if you're in the area, you're a listener, you're a follower, you want to come to the game, we are going to be giving the first 25 fans that show up Bet the Farm Polos. The newest edition of Bet the Farm Polos will be for the first 25 fans. So, hey, come see us play some softball, and you'll get some good memorabilia. So, great win. We have a nice episode on tap for you. We're going to break down the cash crops. Not really too sure how we did this week. I think I was okay, but
It was a good week.
Thank God.
Good rebound.
Good. That's what we're here to do. Rebound and make pick winners. I'm so excited. Baseball opening day tomorrow.
Let's go.
Football is probably the number one sport on this podcast that we love, and we probably have good angles. For some of us sitting in this chair, I think baseball is a very, very close second. So we're going to dive into the baseball season, give you some futures. As always, we got Red Card of the Week for you guys. Sorry for you fans at home. Golf picks with the Plotnicks was postponed this week due to our big softball game. We had to be prepared. So don't worry, though. We're going to be very quick. We're going to give you some outright winners this week to get ready for the big dance is next week, Masters.
Yeah, the Masters, baby.
So, there's a reason why there was no golf picks for the Plotnicks because I just got breaking news. Next week is going to be an hour-long golf pick with the Plotnicks Masters edition.
Let's go.
And I heard that there's going to be a couple guests on that podcast, so you're definitely going to want to tune into that one. It's a great time for sports right now. Yeah, March Madness is coming down to the Final Four. We'll talk a little bit about that. Nothing crazy. We'll give you our cash crops. As always, Stump the Sheep is back. It was a fun little set last week, but I'm looking forward to the questions you got for me.
I made sure I got the answers right this week for you.
Yeah, you choked last week.
Thank you.
And then
I gave you the free win for it. So
yeah, you threw me off on that. And then we're going to wrap it up with our worm burners, and we also have a new little segment opposite of a worm burner. It's called Bale of Hay Parlay. Bale of Hay Parlay.
I sound unsure about that.
Well, yeah. What I like to call it is it's when you're down big on a Sunday and you're looking for the miracle, and you just put like the big parlay in just to win your money back.
You head to the farm, you grab the big bale of hay.
Yeah, you grab any animal you can, any crops, and you say, "Listen, I'm going to put it all together. I'm going to try to bale the hay parlay."
Do you know what a bale of hay is, real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, boys, Brandon, break it down, buddy.
all right, like I said, big week. Overall, 12-7. So a nice bounce back. I think we were honestly like 7-12 or something last week. So we kind of really bounced back, something of that nature. Dino led the charge this week. 5-1 week out of Dino.
Oh,
I told you guys, unders
Yeah.
when it comes to college basketball, and we're at the big dance. So I hit on the under of Oral Roberts, Arkansas, under 159. Cash your tickets. Under of Syracuse, Houston, 140. Cash your tickets. I had Oregon State, the Beavers, plus 6.5. They moved on. Unfortunately, I went to golf at the Punta Cana. Effie Barnerat over McDowell. McDowell had like a top 5 finish.
Yeah, in your face.
Effie Barnerat missed the cut. And then I told you guys, lay the juice minus 220 on Nurmagomedov's cousin, Khabib's cousin, Abubakar, and he got an easy, decisive decision victory. And then it was a tough one. Alina Svitolina over Rogers in the women's tennis. And she was only minus 120. She's a top 5 player seeded in this Miami Open for the women's side, and she pulled out a nice third set victory. So all time, putting me at 39, 33, and 3. I needed a big week, back up to 54%, beating bookies.
Well done, kid. Well done. Nice job.
Jared broke even, 2-2. He really flag planted on FSU, both money line and +3. We won't talk too much about that.
Make me sick.
He decided to go Oral Roberts plus 11.5 versus Arkansas, and they did keep it close. So that was a nice cash there. And then UCLA +7 versus Bama, and they decided to win outright.
That's your
So,
squad.
UCLA. We'll talk about
Johnny
them more later.
Juzang, bro.
So good.
The guy looks like someone I can't think of. He's in a movie like one of those. I mean, Coach Carter, one of those movies, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about.
Timo Cruz.
Yes. He
Timo
looks
Cruz.
identical. I don't know what the name is. I'm not sure, but I know you know what I'm talking
I
about.
know, the one with the fro.
Yes.
Timo Cruz.
Yes.
He shows up at Coach Carter's door
Yes,
crying
yes.
after his cousin gets shot. I remember.
That's him, bro.
Solid call.
So Jared, 46, 29 and 7, 61%, stayed flat. So solid out of you. Miles, 3-1 week. Decided to go Nets +11 versus the Jazz without Kyrie, Harden, and KD, and they got absolutely destroyed. So that was a loser. But bounced back with Kings +3 versus the Hawks. The Knicks -3.5 over the Wizards. And UConn women's basketball. The hardcourt of tampons. So they got the nice, what is it? He said that they were going to win by 20 on the podcast. They won by 20 on the dot over Iowa. Paige Beckers.
Bukers.
Beckers.
Bukers.
Some say Bukers,
Some
say
spell it
Beckers.
Bukers is pronounced Beckers.
You would know. I agree.
Promise.
So all-time 36-16, and that is a 69% win
Nice.
percentage. Hashtag nice. Eric, 2-3 week.
Yeah, so not my best week. You know, I've kind of not been sharp on the ice. You know, I got distracted, really focusing on the college basketball tournament. So I haven't been as sharp, and really the numbers are showing as I think I'm 0 for 6 in my last hockey cash crop. So gonna take a break of the ice. You know, thank God for baseball, but
Well,
read them off.
Yeah, you had Houston -6 over Cuse. That was a nice win.
Love that one.
USC -2.5 over the Ducks. They won decisively. And then, 0-3 on the ice. I'm not even going to talk about it.
I thought I added your under. I added your under.
Did you?
Yes, I loved your pick. I wanted to make it a cash crop. I loved that under.
Then that would put you at 3-3. So even week for you, that would put you at 33-38, a 47% clip. So you're staying tight, right under there, being the sheep as you are meant to be. Unfortunately, gentlemen, we lost our Bet the Farm pick of the week. We took the Cats on the ice cats, the cardiac cats, and we flatlined and got our asses kicked. No Barkov didn't help. Hornquist got hurt. All of our top dogs really getting. Speaking of dogs, you might hear a little noise in the background. The dogs are out, baby, and that means we might have some big underdog plays this week as well. So that's 7-3-2 on our Bet the Farm picks. That is a 70% win percentage. And all-time cash crops, 158, 118, and 6. That's 57% win percentage from the farm. We are 17 episodes deep, sitting at 57%.
That will keep sponsorships, and that will open the door for new sponsorships. So, hey, if we're making you money, and you know the opportunity's there, and you want your beloved company or brand on our show, we are officially accepting offers. So just DM us anytime you want. We'll go over the pricing and everything. We have a lot of people interested, so please give us some time to get back to you. We're working tireless hours to fulfill all of our requests.
And as he mentioned, we did get some merchandise in stock. If you are interested, hit us up on social media, Instagram. We have some nice shirts. We got stickers. We got polos coming, hats coming. We're off to a start. You guys can see the banner in our background. We are locked and loaded when it comes to apparel and merchandise, so stay tuned for some more details there. But I think it's time to give out some winners, huh?
Let's do it.
Well, we're not gonna give out winners just yet. We're gonna give out some futures. We got baseball opening day tomorrow, as you know. Marlins hat, Marlins shirt, Marlins hat, Marlins jersey. Huge Marlins podcast over here. Miles not that much of a baseball guy, but he definitely supports the Marlins. So, I mean, opening day tomorrow, got some great matchups. Just had our fantasy draft, so I'm fired up about that. But, I mean, I'll start off the bat. All year long when you're following my baseball picks, two things like the trends. I know we always make fun of Miles and the Hornets. I'm going to be all over the Nationals. Yes, I'm a Marlins fan, but I'm a big believer in bounce-back seasons. Hangover from the World Series, short season, didn't really have enough time to prepare. I think the Nationals made huge moves in the offseason, adding Schwarber, adding Josh Bell, and to come to find out they have John Lester now in the rotation, along with Strasburg, if he's still healthy. He's ready to go?
Yeah, he's good this year.
For now.
Mad Max Scherzer. Still have Corbin, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, they got Corbin as well.
they added Brad Hand to the back end of their bullpen. I mean, it's a team that's going to be, undervalued playing in that division. I think their over-under wins is
84.5?
84.5. Love that. So
I'm on the over as well.
yeah, love that. So I'm going to be backing them a lot, and then I will be fading the Tampa Bay Rays all season long. I know if you remember, watched the World Series last year, Kevin Cash pulling Blake Snell out of that game immediately leads to Blake Snell getting, asking for whatever, maybe he was a free agent, didn't re-sign.
Nah, they traded him.
They traded him.
Yeah.
I just think the chemistry of that team, a lot of head scratching. It's going to be hard for them to really buy into whatever he's saying in the offseason. Yeah, good roster, good team, but I think that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. So those are my two little things going into the season. Anybody else want to add here?
I definitely have some futures, but before I get into my picks, Jared, you're the type that's very strategic. What do you think about what is your thought process when you're looking into season-long over-unders? Maybe even talking about potential NL division or division winners, World Series winners. How do you look at the way that you go about picking your futures picks?
Yeah, I mean, kind of is with the rest of my futures mentality, which especially the baseball, because it's such a long season and injuries can come out of nowhere and pitchers are so important. Whereas most of the time I'm looking at unders, right? I'm looking to find a reason why I don't like a team and take the under, because injuries from there will only help. Whereas I could love a team's over, but they have one or two main injuries and it ruins their whole squad, right? So for me, I'm gonna for the most part try to pinpoint these teams that I don't like, and I'm gonna be trying to pound their unders, because then again, every injury is just gravy from there. As for when we're talking about win total or winning divisions and whatnot, that's honestly, I'm not a big. I don't really bet that a lot unless there's a team I really love that's an underdog. But that kind of goes into my other point, right? I don't really like to bet on the upside and the best a team is going to give you, because most of the time there's going to be a bunch of injuries that just deter that. So only time I'll do that is if I find a team that has really good depth and something that I'm expecting, hey, even if they get a few pitchers that get hurt, it doesn't matter. They still have three other good ones underneath them. I'm looking for stuff like that, teams that have good farm systems where, because a lot of that stuff is just unpredictable, though. Even a lot of top prospects, they come up and they're just not good their first year. Or there's a guy you don't even know of and he comes up and he's nasty. So there's a lot of variables involved in such a long season of baseball, where a long-winded way of me saying I'll try to pinpoint unders for the most part.
Yeah, piggybacking off that, just to say, the Los Angeles Dodgers, I think they're 4 or 5 wins this year? 103. They play in one of the worst divisions in baseball. They have the Giants, who are still in a rebuild mode. Rockies just got rid of Arenado.
Diamondbacks
suck.
so bad.
So the Padres are the only one they're going to compete with, but they could still, wrap up that division really early if the Padres kind of fade away. And then what are they going to do the last 10, 15 games? It's going to be about rest and getting ready to defend their crown.
Exactly.
Plus, when's the last time someone won back-to-back World Series? So I would love that under, but that's just a little insight.
Well, that kind of sometimes the sheep tails, and sometimes he's against them. But I'm taking
love the Dodgers.
I'm taking the over of 103 wins for the Dodgers. I think they're by far and away the best team in baseball. They added Trevor Bauer. I mean, their rotation is him, Buehler, and Kershaw. It's just unbelievable. They still have
Urias
and May won the 5th spot. David Price didn't even get a spot. That's how deep they are. They still have David Price as their 6th starter. Not only that, their hitting is just. All they did was get better. They didn't get any worse. They didn't lose anybody. On a short year, we saw Seager was able to stay healthy for a year. That was encouraging. Turner as well. Whatever. I mean, I don't have to talk too much about the Dodgers. They're just so good. My under that I'm going with is I'm taking the Braves under 91.5.
Love it.
I think in such a very tricky division where you've got the Marlins, I think that could be a sleeper team. You've got the Nationals we've talked about.
The Mets.
The Mets are supposed to be a potential World Series team this year. So
I love it. You have a lot of good pitching in that division, so it's a coin flip. For example, tomorrow the Phillies on opening day, and it's -110 both sides. It's literally a pick 'em. So I could see a lot of those games. So for them to get 91.5 wins,
And teams are going to underperform in this division. This is a division where every team has some sort of hype to it this year. So everyone. So one team in this division is really going to shit the bed, big time. And I like the Braves, but I can see where that value is coming in.
yeah, I'll also wrap it up. I'm taking the A's under of 86.5. I think they way overperformed last year. They lost some of their starting rotation pitchers. I really don't. I looked at their lineup today, went through their depth chart. They didn't add any additional pieces. I think that they are a team that is analytically driven, similar to the Rays. I think the handicap on the Rays is very similar to the A's, and I just think that number is way too high at 86.5. So I'm going to take the under of that on a future. And lastly, I'm going to take a team I think that some people sleep on a little bit. Their team is still intact from when they won a World Series just a few years ago and lost in a World Series. The Astros, 87.5. I'm taking the over there. I think that even without Verlander, they still have a nice rotation. They still have a great bullpen. And their hitting is, they still have the exact same players. They got the big three. They lost Springer. But Tucker's supposed to take a big role this year. Altuve, Correa, the whole shebang. So I think that there's some value at Astros, 87.5. And honestly, I was debating sprinkling on them to either win the division or win the World Series. But like you mentioned, I'd like to target over-unders before the season. As the season progresses and injuries come, at the forefront, that's when I'll start to target maybe some World Series futures because I don't like touching that before the season. And especially with COVID this year, we have no idea the landscape of a 162-game season.
Yeah. Well, speaking of futures, I have one crazy future that I did just to piggyback. So it's a possible World Series matchup at 50-1. Obviously, I was talking very highly of the Nationals. They're undervalued big time this year. So I have the Nationals representing the National League, and then obviously I'm going to go back to a team that's been very close year after year after year. Haven't been able to pull through, but New York Yankees, right? They're always going to be there. They always fall maybe one game short, however you look at it. So a Nationals Yankees World Series matchup pays 50-1, $100 bet gives you $5,000. Definitely a fun little bet you could follow the whole season. Feel confident about the Yankees, representing. I don't think the AL is as strong, but obviously the Nationals would be the tough one in the National League.
Nice. Yeah, so I got 3 win totals that I'm targeting. And the first one I just love more than anything because one thing I'm also going to look for in these futures is when I'm taking unders, I'm trying to target teams with really weak pitching. And it's like, if you have a good pitcher or two, or especially bad bullpens. Bad bullpens blow so many games, as you know, if you've been on baseball all the time. So I'm targeting teams with poor pitching, poor bullpens, and under 76.5 wins, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I was just going to say.
This team is fucking awful. You just look at them. I'm looking at their starting lineup. Bunch of pretty much no-namers. They have no one that's even that good. On top of that, their pitching rotation is their ace is Bumgarner, who's over the hill. He's done. Their best pitcher they have by far is Zach Gallen, who the Marlins traded, but he's hurt. He's already out for the first couple months. He hurt his throwing form. It's literally Caleb Smith, who the Marlins traded, who's got rocked all spring. He's terrible. And then they have Merrill Lynch, some random name of some, and Luke Weaver, who went to FSU, so I kind of like him, but he's underperformed in the big league career. And their closer is Soria, who's now 55 years old.
How is he so close?
I don't know. He's been around forever, and then literally a bunch of no-namers. So the fact that they're going to play the Padres and the Dodgers a lot all year long. Obviously, like you said, the Rockies and the Giants, they're not very good, but that's not. You're going against two of the best teams in the league, and you suck to begin with. I love that under. So that's number one. The second under I love is, this may be a little unpopular, but it goes to kind of what my point was, and I'm going back, and I'm taking the under of 79.5 wins of the Chicago Cubs. I think this Cubs team, it just sucks. They've maxed out all their talent. Rizzo's 34. He's not getting much better. Bryant has been a notorious underperformer. Baez was awful last year. I think he's going to get better. Their lineup's not what I'm banking on the under, though. What I'm banking on the under is their starting rotation. Kyle Hendricks is good, but he's not going to be better than he has been in any years past. So I could see him regressing. And on top of that, their number 2 pitcher is Zach Davies, who they just got. Number 3 is Jake Arrieta, who is absolutely awful. He was awful in the Phillies. He just went. It's a homecoming for him where he actually was good. And it's Trevor Williams and a young kid whose name I can't pronounce. Their closer is Craig Kimbrell, who was awful last year. They said he's
on the porch.
Hey, I understand, but look, it's
okay. You can get 30 saves and they win 7 games.
You probably don't even know 2 other relievers in their bullpen.
Carl Edwards Jr.
No, he's gone. No, it's Rex Brothers. I know he was on the Rockies. If you remember him, and probably the only one you know is Pedro Strop. But other than that, I think this Cubs team is just done. There's a reason Theo Epstein resigns. He ruined that team. He tried trading all their prospects for good players and going for it after they won the World Series. and it backfired. So I think I love that under. And last but not least, I'm actually going one over. Going back to the division of over 95, and I think the Padres are just going to be electric. I mean, I love this team. They have no weaknesses. And what I'd say on the only thing I'll target with an over is a team where the rotation is actually deep and good. So even if I'm getting a couple injuries, you're still going to be good. And I mean, if you see this as I'm pulling up this rotation right now, it is Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove, Chris Paddock, and Lamet. Lamet last year was a Cy Young candidate for a little bit, and he's their fifth starter now.
I think Paddock is going to excel out of all of them. No pressure on him being the ace.
He's the fourth.
He gets to pitch after those guys.
He's the fourth pitcher now. I love Musgrove. Like, that's an analytics dude who people are really loving. I'm going to be targeting him early when he pitches this year. I'm going to take their opponent's team total unders and whatnot because he was on the Pirates, and he was low-key pretty good. Right. His numbers were good. So I mean, even if they get banged up, I still like some of the arms in their bullpen. The bullpen kind of scares me, but you got Pomerantz, Pagan, Melanson. I mean, you got arms there. But when you have these pitchers that can go deep in the games, you don't really need a deep bullpen. So I really love the Padres over 95 wins. Those are my 3 picks.
I'll be telling those. Miles, anything?
I got absolutely nothing.
All right, well, excited for baseball. It is time for Red Card of the Week. Miles, I'm going to throw it right to you, baby. I hope you've been preparing for this one.
But yeah, I mean, I've just been sitting here in silence. I actually have 2 red cards of the week. My first one goes to the Clippers. Last night, which was the 30th of March, they're the last leg of my parlay. I took a money line in that parlay. They blow a 13-point lead, completely blow it, and lose me that parlay along with a perfect night, which would have been. So that entire team, entire franchise, even their fans, they all get red cards.
Good. All time.
Is that it?
I mean, you want me to go both of them? The second one's kind of a reach, but I'm sure you guys have seen the news of the Michael Rappaport and whole lawsuit with him, but the herpes on his lip. And that dude just sucks. I hate everything about that dude. Dave Portnoy officially owns him, and him even trying to create a lawsuit out of that was a joke. I'm actually thinking about buying one of those shirts with his ugly face on it, just to rock it in support of Portnoy. So, Michael Rappaport, you get my second red card.
Wow. Yeah, so my red card of the week, a little unfair, but, I mean, as we talked about the WGC match play last week, it's going to be a weird format. Quirky things are going to happen. So it's kind of wrong with me, but I'm giving mine to my main pony last week at 28-1. Patrick Cantlay, giving it to him. Why? Because first 2 rounds, the guy shot 15 under. If it was a regular tournament, he would have been easily in first place and a good shot to win the tournament. And then he comes out that 3rd round of match play, loses, has to go to a playoff, and gets eliminated before he even made it to the weekend. So very simple, kind of uncalled for, but just because I'm upset, he would have been, if it was a regular tournament any other week of the year, I had a 28-1 pony that would have been up probably at least 5 shots on the whole field heading into the weekend. Instead, he didn't even make the weekend. Quirky tournament, either way, Patrick Cantlay, red card of the week to you. But I'm probably going to be on him on the Masters.
Well, speaking with golf, my red card of the week, there was another tournament this week on the PGA Tour, the Punta Cana Championship. It was a secondary tour event, and on the very last hole, Rafael Campos had about a 8 to 10 footer putt.
He pulled a Fafrito.
He had a putt to go to a playoff, and he putts it, and he goes for the roaring fist bump, and the ball lips out, and he fucking misses it and loses the tournament. He was already celebrating too early. We always say don't count your chips at the table, and he ended up losing. Joel Damon comes out with a victory. So red card goes to Rafael Campos. Never celebrate too early. Make sure the ball gets in the hole. Don't be a Kevin Na. Red card.
Very nice, boys. Well, that wraps up red card of the week. Like I said, there was no golf picks with the Plonics this week. We have the tour is heading to TPC San Antonio, for the Houston Open. Yep. It's usually a great tournament, a lot of good storylines. A lot of people are fighting for that last spot into the Masters. So some notable names that you usually see at the Masters that have to win to get in. 2 off my head are Ricky Fowler and, of course, first-round leader Charlie Hoffman, who you always see when you wake up at like 8 a.m.
Yep.
Masters Day, he's like 2 under already. Those are 2 notables, but...
he also owns his tournament at Texas Valero.
Who, Hoffman?
Yeah, he's won here before. He's made 14 out of 14 cuts here before.
Well, yeah, I'll just dive right into my picks. It's like, what Jared always says. You're going to tell me Charlie Hoffman, 25-1, is 25 betting points better than Matt Kuchar? Absolutely not. Matt Kuchar, great display, feeling a little mojo. His always plays well at the Masters too. So I like to. This is his time where he gets into good form. 50-1.
It feels good to hear you bet on Matt Kuchar again because
Yeah.
you used to love him and bet on him at every major.
Absolutely.
And you're going back to your old ways. I'm proud of you.
Show me some life last week. He made it to the semis.
Yeah.
Did he win third place? I don't
He
know.
did.
Who cares?
He did win third
Yeah.
place.
I care because I took Victor
50-1. I mean, and then I'm gonna go right back to Gary Woodland. 70-1. You're telling me Charlie Hoffman at 25-1 is 50 points better than Gary Woodland? Wrong. 70-1. He's a major. Already won a major. So. Hopefully he starts picking it up. And last but not least, one of my favorite golfers on tour, Cameron Champ, 100-1 I mean, I just can't pass
That's
that.
your new Matt Kuchar. You take him
Yeah.
every week.
After what he did in, when we watched my house at the PGA, I think, he had like a top 5 finish. He was in the final pairing. I mean, guys got stones and play some golf.
All right, I'll jump right into my outrights. I'm going with the Texas native, Ryan Palmer, at 25-1. He's been in great form all year. He's really been trending upwards. I mean, he hasn't won in a really long time. He's an older guy. He's in his 40s, but like I said, Texas native. He's very comfortable at this type of course. I'm taking Ryan Palmer, great course history. I'm going to go with Lanto Griffin at Lanto Griffin at 40-1 odds. I just think that when you really look at this field, it's really weak. Lanto Griffin is considered a top 50 player in the world. I'm going to ride Lanto Griffin at 40-1 just off pure value. I'm also going to go with Sam Burns, my boy. I just thought this line was disrespectful. 45-1 in a shitty field. Like you've talked about, some of the guys under him just makes no sense that he's almost double, triple the value of some of these scrubs. Sam Burns has both 2 different times in the last 2 months been in a final group on Sunday. He hasn't played his best on Sunday, but he's gone against some really good players. Torrey Pines had a good chance to win there. It was Riviera, excuse me. And I'm gonna ride Burns at 45, and then as always, I'm gonna throw my money into a wood pit. Just throw it straight into the fire. Ricky Fowler, 75-1. You already alluded to it. He has to win this week to make the Masters. I think this would be the first time that he hasn't made a Masters appearance in probably close to a decade. So Ricky Fowler, 75-1. Take my money, bookie. But
fun little fact. I think it wasn't last year because of the COVID and everything, but the year before, I remember in our one and done, Ian Poulter had to win to get into the Masters, and he won that tournament.
Same with Corey Connors. Corey Connors did
So,
it 2 years ago.
Little trend.
I mean, Ricky Fowler, $20 to win 1,500. That's not throwing your money away. I feel like that's amazing value.
That's value. It's just the fact that Ricky Fowler, every time I bet on him, he fucking sucks. So it's just like throwing money away.
No, it's throwing your money away, which is why I only have 3 picks this week, and I'm going to throw my money away with him also. I mean, some of the names that we've talked about, he's one of my 3 picks. I got him at 80-1, and it's just like, look, I'm betting on nothing that he's shown recently. This is a pure number play. The fact that he's 80-1 and you have Lanto Griffin's at 40-1 and Charlie Hoffman's and Brendan Steele's at 25-1 and Ryan Palmer's. I mean, Ricky Fowler over the course of the last decade is better than all these golfers.
Right.
He just has sucked for the last year, which of course, like, you want to see a little form here, but I'm just strictly taking that number here, and it'd be a good story also. But I mean, the guy, it's a weak field to begin with. At the top, it's Jordan Spieth is the odds-on favorite at 10-1, which honestly I looked at him for a little bit. I thought about maybe taking him because the guy's playing so good. He's due to win, but it's not anything I'm going to touch. This is going to be my lightest card of the year. I don't really like this tournament, how it sets up this year, right before the Masters. It's wedged in between all these main tournaments. So I have 3 picks only. I'm going to really, as we talk about, I'm going to try to locate something live. Maybe if I see some good ball striking numbers in the first round, I'll be able to add a couple more ponies to my table.
Do that.
But yeah, so I mean, Fowler 80-1 was my lowest suggestion, and never good when me and Eric are on the same side, but same straight number play. You get Gary Woodland at 70-1. Like, again, it's the same exact handicap I just gave about Ricky Fowler. These 2 golfers are just a lot better than most of the field, and their numbers are so bad because they've been in bad form. Woodland's actually healthy now. I like him a little more than Fowler because he has a reason for how bad he's been recently. But other than that, those are 2 just strictly number plays. And my other pick at 40-1, and I took him live a couple tournaments ago, and the guy could not make a putt for the life of him, but he's been ball striking the shit out of the ball. I'm going Chris Kirk.
Wow, I love
40-1. And the guy
40-1.
from tee to green has been top 10 in the last months and months. He's in impeccable form right now. He just cannot make a putt. Hopefully this week, like Corey Connors did last year, same kind of guy, ball striking wizard. Made putts last year, won his first tournament. I'm hoping Chris Kirk can do the same thing this week. Just be even putting and just ball strike the shit out of it, and you'll find yourself there come Sunday. So those are my 3 picks.
Nice.
Miles, anything?
The only thing I have is a one and done. So if you guys
start
ready
us
to
off,
jump
yeah.
right into that,
Yep.
go ahead.
The numbers haven't changed for one and done.
Yeah,
so
we didn't do any one and done for WGC, so as we stand, Eric still has a commanding lead. Jared's somewhat up his tail. Miles is a little bit behind, and I am nowhere close. So
Perfect.
There's some momentum though.
So going into my one and done, I'm going to go with Tony Finau. I usually like to have a sort of outlandish handicap, something that's out of the norm. So I don't know if you guys remember Martin Gramatica. He was celebrating that field goal he kicked, ended up tearing his ACL. Well, I don't know if you guys remember a year or two ago, Tony Finau was walking on a par 3 and rolled his ankle dirty. So I like the correlation there. I think Finau's going to bounce back. I think he's finally gonna make some noise.
Yeah, I could definitely see him blowing his load right before the biggest tournament of the year.
And I
pick.
haven't used him yet. I think now is a great opportunity to
You're learning.
to
I'm proud of
move
you.
myself up in the earnings. So I'm going to go with Tony Finau.
Well, I'll follow that up real quick. I'm going to go with my best golfer that I chose, and it's going to be Matt Kuchar. 50-1, good form. I think I'm guaranteed to get probably top 10 out of him. Don't really see him winning any tournaments this year, so, it's a good golfer for this course. Give me Matt Kuchar.
I'm going to ride Sam Burns.
And I guess I got to stick to my guns. Let's go Chris Kirk.
Nice.
Let's go a little outlandish.
Well, there you have it, boys. Those are the one and done picks. Like I said, please keep those phones and any devices that you use to listen to this podcast for next week. We have our Masters special golf pick with the Plotniks, 1 hour episode. Will be a couple guest speakers on there as well. You're not going to want to miss it. So good luck to this week and your golf picks. Hey man, now since we're on that flow here, let's get the cash crops going.
Yep. This is all about giving you guys winners. And I told you, unders when it comes to the NCAA tournament, March Madness, at the Big Dance Final Four. I'm going with the Houston Baylor under of 134. Don't have any statistical reasoning other than the fact that I'm statistically hitting all my unders. The only reason I'm not taking the under the Gonzaga game is because Gonzaga could drop 50 points in a half like it's nobody's business. It scares me a bit. So I'm going to take the under of Houston Baylor.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Yeah, let's just ride this March Madness train first, and we go to some other sports. Does anyone else have anything in the Big Dance Final Four?
On the hard court of tampons, I do.
I do. Because everyone knows where I'm going. Who's been my cash prop all tournament long. Give me the UCLA Bruins, plus 14. Johnny Juzang. That's all I got to say. Johnny Juzang. Guy's
Timo
amazing.
Cruz.
I like this look, sometimes you go to the well too much, but this team, when they beat my Michigan State Spartans in the playing game, they showed me a lot of life. And since then, I've bet them every single game. They've been well to me. They've been 7-point dogs every single game. They've won every single game. Now they're 14-point dogs to the Zags. Zags are always known for choking. You may want to sprinkle a little bit on Johnny Juzang and Mick Cronin's UCLA Bruins. Give me the Bruins plus 14.
Yeah, when this thing started, March Madness, I don't know if you remember, I said Houston was going to win it all. They've had a cakewalk to get to where they are, but as you said, this under, I'm a big fan of. The matchup is perfect. We talked about Baylor having a lot of size. Houston has every bit of size as they have, so it's going to be a great matchup. So give me the plus. I think it's 7 they're getting right now. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be low scoring, hard to find baskets, and all the pressure is on that Baylor side. And what did Jared say before that? Or no, Baylor, wrong coach, but right.
Well, it's Scott Drew, no.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Scott Drew, notorious choker.
Yep.
So it just matches up. Give me the 7. Give me Houston.
All right, Miles. Hardcore to tampons.
Yeah, so I think this is a great time to transition, coming off another win. I'm 8-1 on the hardcore of tampons, so there's no other time like now to take it. The season's about to end. I think it was 2 weeks ago when they were in the Sweet 16. I had UConn plus 150. It wasn't great value for the time, given there were a bunch of 1 seeds left, and they just squeaked by with a win. That was part of my cash crop the other night. But I'm still going to ride UConn. I love Paige Becker. She's the AP National Player of the Year as of recently. Very, very, very well deserved, I might add. I'm taking UConn. They're minus 10.5 against Arizona. Arizona's a 3 seed. I'm not worried about it. Honestly, UConn could have been minus 15. I still would have taken it. Minus 10.5. I'm taking that game. That game is on April 2nd at 9:30 p.m. on ESPN. So there's no reason why you guys at home should not be watching that game. Everybody's got ESPN. If you need an ESPN login, hit us up. We'll provide that for you. And as far as the hardcore of tampons, obviously that's the only game that I'm going to be riding.
What about the hard court in general? That's your thing.
I love UCLA, but I'm not going to.
But not even college. What about the NBA?
And then in the NBA, I got quite a few. You guys ready for them?
I'm ready.
All right, so tonight I've already made a post on our Instagram for tonight. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and recite it so it's on the record at 10 p.m. On Wednesday, the 31st of March. I have the Bucks -8.5 against the Lakers. That line started out at 7. I think it's at 9 now. I think the Bucks blow them out. Lakers are banged up, not as good. This is the time of year where the Bucks start making some noise, making a run. They've been kind of shaky. I expect them to come out a lot hotter than they have. But I expect the Bucks to win big tonight.
We have ESPN on right now, and on the bottom line, because that's the next game up, it had Giannis versus Schroeder.
I know.
That was the headline.
It doesn't make sense, but
Because Schroeder's the best player in the Lakers right now.
Yeah, granted, he's not terrible, but you should never see his face as a headline ever. And then also tonight at the same time, we have the Bulls playing the Phoenix Suns. And what do I say? If the Phoenix Suns are ever getting points, you take the Phoenix Suns. However, in this case, Phoenix is -7.5 against the Bulls, who are one of my favorite teams. I love the Bulls here. Bulls +7.5. That game is also at 10 o'clock, and those games are also on the story. If you guys follow our Instagram, you'd have already had those locked in. Then we're going to shift over to tomorrow night, April 1st, April Fool's Day. This ain't a joke, though. I'm taking the Heat -2.5 against the Warriors.
Depot's
Victor
back.
Oladipo is back. I expect a big game out of him. He's not going to go crazy. I think he'll have a little bit of minute restriction, but as far as just our team gelling, I really, really like this addition for us. And -2.5 against Golden State at home at 8 p.m. I love it. Those are going to be my 3 NBA cash crops.
This is super random, but I have a live bet going on in hockey. Over 5.5 goals. The game just started. What do you think the fastest the over-under has ever cashed in a game? What would you think after period 1? It's been 7 minutes, and the over has already cashed. It's 5-1 in the first 7 minutes.
Hey, for you guys at home, that's what we say. Tight.
Yeah.
Yotes.
Wow. That's awesome.
So for does anybody else have any other cash crops? Those are I had 4 total just to recite them. On the hardcore tampons, we had UConn -10.5. For NBA, we got Bucks -8.5, Bulls +7.5, and then the Heat.
Yeah, it's already on the story. All right, let's get on to fucking the
Baseball.
diamond. Let's get to the diamond, Jared. I know this is where you and Eric tend to thrive. I'm going to be on the props. We've got a big prop segment every night coming out on our Instagram page that you guys will talk about.
As well.
Prop Flies. I
like
love the
that.
name. Prop Flies.
As well as cash crops every night.
Yeah, of
hopefully.
course.
Yeah, I only have one for tomorrow because, as you know, and as me and Eric will allude to, that we like to. I mean, our style of handicapping baseball is a little different, and it tends to take into account performances of pitchers predominantly. Their start before, so obviously we're not having any starts before because the season's just starting. So our handicaps will predominantly kick in starting in about a week or so. But just for what I think is a misnumber, and this could come across as biased, and I understand it, but I'm taking the Marlins tomorrow +125. Sandy Alcantara against Tyler Glasnow. And the handicap is pretty simple. I think that Sandy Alcantara is going to be underpriced for the beginning of the season. I mean, if you look at the analytics, this guy, with his four-seam fastball, is getting 17% swing miss rate, right? And that's up there with, I think it was Max Scherzer, and he led the league over the last 10 years at 17%. So Marlins and Sandy +125.
That's the only game we took?
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, as I alluded to in our previews, just at opening day, you look for numbers on teams, and also I like to fade off of last year's performance. So my first game is going to be Detroit Tigers versus Cleveland Indians. The over-under is at 7.5. You obviously have Shane Bieber, who was one of the best pitchers last year, going up against Boyd, who's a pretty good pitcher. Bieber was outstanding last year. I just don't see him having the same kind of season. So like Jared alluded to in some of his overs-unders, there's going to be a little bit setback. Also, they just got rid of Lindor, so I'm sure people are thinking that the Indians' offense may take a step back. I think it's a double-edged sword. So I think the Indians will score. Tigers should be able to score some off Bieber. 7.5 is a pretty low number for opening day. So give me the over on that. I'm also on the Marlins with Jared, as he alluded to. I think that price, if you're not really a baseball fan and you're seeing the Tampa Bay Rays, you might fall in love, obviously, with Glasnow, and that price for a World Series obviously they were the AL champs. They're playing the Miami Marlins, who, yeah, playoff team, but not really a powerhouse, and they're only minus 130, 140. I think it's a lot of trap bets going on in Tampa, and as I alluded to earlier, I don't think anyone's going to buy in with Kevin Cash, so give me the Marlins. I'll be real quick with these. Nationals plus 127. I'll take Max Scherzer any day with plus money. Sorry, Dino. I do like the Oakland A's against the Astros. One of the most undervalued teams every single year are the A's, but continue to perform, continue to just get W's, so give me them. And last but not least, give me the San Francisco Giants over the Mariners. They're minus 107, basically a pick 'em. No really handicap, just don't. Giants are not that very good, and it's a pick 'em, so just give me the Giants.
All right, it looks like we're going to take it to the barn. Because I'm taking Houston money line versus the A's tomorrow. Greinke on the mound versus Bassett. I like my odds there. I think that the Astros lineup is going to piece them up a bit. Once we can figure out what do you want to take to the barn? What are you thinking, huh?
Boxers?
We finally want to go with the Boxers? All right. Houston money line versus the Oakland A's. Loser has to... Next episode, next week, loser has to sit here and do the entire episode in their boxers.
With the shirt on.
And I know you guys want me to lose these fucking chicken thighs. Ooh!
Game must go 7 innings.
All right, I'm also going to stay on the diamond as well. I'm going to ride the Padres minus 1.5 versus the Diamondbacks. We've talked about this in 2 different facets. 1, Padres... I think that they're going to have a massive year. 2, Arizona going to have a bad year. We got Yu Darvish on the mound versus Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner a bit over the hill. Not a big fan, so I'm going to take Padres to win decisively. I'm also going to take an over-under. Rangers-Royals. The over is set at 9. We got Gibson versus Keller on the mound. I think that there's an opportunity here. I know that the Royals upgraded their lineup a bit. They added Benintendi. I really like some of the moves they made this offseason. The Rangers can somehow rake. They have the worst pitching usually every year, but they rake off of off the bats. So I'm taking the over of 9 there. And that actually wraps it up for that on the baseball side of things. But let's move over to the hardcore on tennis. I think that we have the Miami Open this week. And Ash Barty is facing Alina Svitolina tomorrow night. I'm taking Ash Barty money line. She's a heavy favorite. I believe she's minus 300 or something like that. And the over of 21.5 parlayed. So Ash Barty and the over parlayed versus Svitolina. Barty has gone to a third set in 3 of her 4 matches so far in this tournament. Svitolina has also gone to the third set 2 out of her 4 matches, and there's the biggest handicap of it all. We all know that Alina Svitolina and Gail Monfils were dating for a long time. They just broke up. She must not be mentally there completely, emotionally heartbroken. I think that she's not going to be there, and I think that Barty takes it to a third set and just, continues to pound that heart of hers. I don't know how she's going to recover.
I like it.
And lastly, while I'm at it, I always got to take one golf matchup. I'm taking Doug Gim over Matt Wallace, minus 124. Doug Gim's been hot. Matt Wallace has played like 4 weeks in a row. I think he's a little gassed. He's coming from overseas. Doug Gim is, he's had some time to come over that big Sunday collapse of the players. I'm liking Doug Gim.
Didn't Matt Wallace play last week?
Matt Wallace played last week.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. He's been playing a lot, especially in match play. You play a lot of rounds in match play.
Absolutely. Nice.
Any other cash?
Last but not least, I got 3 just golf matchups, and I'll make it quick. Ricky over Phil, Spieth over Finau, Kirk over C.
Woo! Shaking that ass, shaking
I
that
like that,
ass,
Kirk.
shaking that ass.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, those are all your winners. I'm going to call this week that we are going to hit on 65% of our bets or more, so play them.
Rash them.
Well, you guys know what time it is. It is time to stump the sheep. All right, last week he had a record of 3-2. One was by default due to poor officiating.
10-9. Record of 3-2. Fighting in the blue corner, Eric.
Sitting at a 17-14 record overall. It is time to truly stump you and see if you can keep this over 500 record going. So is everybody ready? You all know the rules. One lifeline, and one lifeline only.
And just got news from Vegas that everyone has pounded that I do not use the lifeline in the first because I've done it 3 weeks in a row. So hopefully I could cash those tickets, boys and girls at home.
All right, in honor of the MLB season starting tomorrow, who won the 2020 MLB All-Star Game?
I got a 50-50 shot.
2020, there was no All-Star game.
Bang!
I was gonna say.
Wow, I was trying to stump the sheep.
Can't stump the sheep in baseball. Maybe spring
Beautiful.
training, but
Beautiful, beautiful call. 1 for 1. Ding,
Solid
ding, ding.
question.
cash those tickets at home for no lifeline in the first. No runs in the first.
I love
Tomorrow, every game, no runs in the first.
that. All right. This is the week of the Valero Texas Open. Name 2 Valero Texas Open champs in the last 5 years.
Ian Poulter and Corey Connors.
Bang, bang, bang. Actually, I don't know if Poulter.
Yeah,
Poulter
Poulter
won
has
the
not won
other Texas tournament.
What
That's
was
what
it called? The
Houston
Houston
Open.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it's called this week.
No,
isn't
this
it?
is the Valero Texas Open.
There's a
Oh, then Adam had one?
Wrong again.
No, Landry, sorry.
Landry.
Sorry, Landry.
I somehow I
Yeah.
kind of want to give you a half a point for this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
point. That was good.
Yeah, I didn't stop. It's not I could name them. It wasn't a final answer.
Yeah, so
Rattle
fair
them
enough.
off.
Fair enough. Connors, Landry, Chappell, Hoffman, Walker.
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't have Jimmy
Yeah,
Walker.
that's it.
All right. This one, I think you're going to get stumped. There's no chance you get this. What country is hosting the 2022 World Cup?
What country is?
Yeah.
Qatar.
Oh my God, he's on fire.
That was an easy one.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that off the top of my head.
Right, because you're Jewish.
What does that have to do with it?
Jews don't know that Qatar is even a country.
3-0. All right, it's another winning week. The kid can't be stumped. All right, we're sticking to baseball. Who was the AL MVP in 2020? He's going to use his lifeline? I don't even think Jared knows.
Thinking about the playoff teams. Nobody from the Astros. Nobody from the Yankees.
All right, you get 5 seconds.
No, easy, Horsey. I'm gonna call in.
Oh.
Call in a lifeline. I mean, to help me discuss this, I'm gonna bring in Jared.
Okay. Then we could talk this one through together. I'm just gonna try to think of players that were
In the playoffs.
or who went in like the top 10 of the draft. I mean, you have Trout going 5. Who else would it possibly be? Tatis NL, Acuna NL. Who went 3rd and 4th? I don't even know.
Mookie is NL.
Mookie is now in the NL,
Did he win again?
Honestly,
I think he did.
but he's NL, so that's
No, Trout.
I would have to go Trout if
Yeah,
anyone.
Mike Trout.
Jose Abreu,
Wow, yeah, we not have got that one.
2020.
I knew it was some
AL MVP.
random-
Small sample size.
And can you give me the NL one? Maybe I'll give you a bonus.
Sabonis.
Fernando Tatis.
Freddie Freeman.
Oh, that's
I
right.
knew that. Yeah, good call. It's
Freddie
a tough
Freeman.
one.
That was good.
All
Proud of
right,
you.
thank you. And
Maybe
last
they
but not
voted.
least, you already used your lifeline. You fucked yourself because this is the one you needed the most. Name the top 3 seeds in the NBA Western Conference right now.
Los Angeles Lakers.
Wrong.
They fell off already.
Team that he loves every single game, the Jazz.
They're the
Jazz,
Suns.
Clippers. And Clippers?
fourth. Yeah, it was Jazz, Suns, Clippers, but that's a loss. You
Dude, the
went
Lakers are falling off that much.
Yeah.
All right, so a 3-2 week.
Another winning week. Thank
It's
you.
a winning week.
Thank you.
I had you a little bit stumped, but the
Yeah.
sheep prevails.
60% a week keeps the books away. Come on.
All right, well, let's wrap it up here. Anyone got some more burners, or I want to definitely hear some Bale of the Hay parlays.
I do want to give a quick recap of last week. So only 2 plays that we had worm burners. I took Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley at UFC over Almeida. Got an easy knockout win at -320. Told you that was a lock. Miles had UCLA women's college basketball over Texas, and that was a decisive victory as well. So if you guys want worm burners,
I had one.
What do you guys say about worm burners?
Doesn't matter about the juice. You know it's going to win.
Yeah.
You forgot mine.
Squeeze.
Only look at the
I had Houston.
Oh, you had to use the money line? I didn't write it down, so you're fucking useless or whatever. You're sheep. All right, this week, anybody got something? Because I have a Bale of Hay Parlay.
I have both. I got a worm burner and a...
Bring it away, Miles.
My worm burner, none other than UConn. Money line.
Well, no, what's the line, though? We said it's got to be like
It was
between
-10.5. They're -280.
Okay.
I feel like that's solid. Obviously going to pound that. UConn's not going to lose, especially at Arizona. If you want to jump right into my Bale of Hay Parlay, I got 3 moneyline games on 3 consecutive nights. Starting with tonight, the Bucks moneyline. Then we got Heat moneyline on Thursday, the 1st of April. And then on the 2nd of April, we have UConn moneyline. That comes out to plus 310.
Yeah, that's not
Those are all locks.
That's not a Bale of the Hay parlay in my
No,
eyes.
it's a plus 310.
It's supposed to be a fucking jackpot. Like you're down
this-
500,
this is what
600,
you're chasing.
and you're
I thought anything
chasing.
over 300 was a solid.
It's a bailout. That's like a nice parlay. That should be a cash crop.
Okay, well, if you want a guaranteed parlay, then you
I'm on the same page. Bail the parlay would be like,
I'll show you what a real Bale of Hay parlay looks like. We're talking Marlins money line tomorrow with the Dodgers money line, the Phillies money line, and the Rangers money line, and that's at plus 1,500.
that's a Bail the Hay parlay.
No, I got even more bail than that, my friend.
Let's go.
All right. We're going Marlins money line tomorrow, absolutely. We're going to get a little frisky here, and I don't even know what this comes out to be, but it's going to be big. I'm going Chris Kirk over C.
Woo!
Shaking that
Plus
ass.
105, and on top of that, let's add in your UCLA Bruins at who knows what fucking plus,
like
but
you
they're
could
plus
only-
14.
you could
I don't
only-
even see it on my book, so it's probably like plus 800.
I feel like you could only do that parlay in like Vegas, but that is definitely a Bail the Hay parlay.
Yeah, those
That
are, I mean,
qualifies.
most of our listeners live out in Vegas, so you out there, go bail that hay, my friends.
See if I can put something together real quick.
He's making Bale of Hay
Pirates
parlay.
money line plus 182.
The whole baseball card.
Bumgarner's a World Series champion. You get one good start, win one game, plus 190. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me again. And we'll go with Coors Field, Colorado Rockies, maybe a hangover for the Dodgers. Of course, my book, one fucking underdog for fucking wager, but that would be my Bale of the Hay parlay. That would probably pay out enough to break your bookie's back. So,
All right, well, you got all the hay. Now go bail yourself out, all right?
Well, guys,
dude, I cannot wait for
no Ask the Farm this week, so that's going to wrap it up.
Well,
enjoy opening day, guys.
It's our
and
favorite time, though. Do we have something where we would love just lock? I mean, we were on a 3-game losing streak here after starting 7-0.
You know,
I mean, it's
I wanted
what
to
the
take.
people want.
I wanted to take Dino's Houston under, but we kind of got caught taking the Panthers. I
think
want to
that-
go back to your
I don't
under.
s-
I don't know. I think we go bias.
I don't
So
see
we
Marlins?
take the Marlins.
I mean,
down.
I was with that, and it was either
You know,
between
somebody
that or
twice.
one thing everyone here seemed to like. Your UCLA Bruins plus 14, but I'm so on board with the Marlins.
Sandy Alcantara on the mind. Me and
Yeah.
Jared are going to be in attendance.
What about UConn Huskies minus 10.5?
You would have taken that if it was minus 30.5,
I'm just asking.
but
Give me the fish.
I mean, you're going off that just off straight emotion. Why wouldn't you want to go?
Sandy
something that's more-
Alcantara.
you
No,
obviously
bet
didn't
the
listen to
farm.
my
Honestly,
handicap
I
at
watched
all.
the World Series last year. No one's gonna perform for Kevin Cash
It's
this
the
year.
first game of the year. You want to put all our marbles on the first game of the year on something?
Yeah, it's a bet the farm.
Yeah, usually.
If
bet
not,
the
I'll
farm
take
supposed to be
under
our
in the
most
fucking
confident
Baylor
bet.
Houston.
Yeah, but
I like that too.
UConn is not the most confident pick.
All right, under Baylor Houston.
I don't know. Baylor's big. They,
I tried.
I feel like we're at the point. It's just.
Chris Kirk over.
I
We
feel
did
like
that
I feel like it's
already.
just the Marlins are nothing. His reasoning made no sense.
Well, can't agree. It was
Yeah.
nice while it lasted. We'll get you
We
one
probably
next
could use a
week.
week off anyways
Yeah.
after not hitting. But
We'll
for
regroup.
those at home, take the Marlins.
Marlins money line.
Guys, always a pleasure. Go win some money, everybody, and
Have
hit us
fun.
up for some merchandise. Stay tuned for some UFC shows. Stay tuned for some golf picks with the Podniks. We'll see you guys soon.
Cheers.